Boom! And welcome to another Wednesday and another new comics day here at Comics Should Smell Good. It's Zanadu Comics here in Seattle. There's so much stuff this week that we're just going to get right into it because you don't really want to hear us jabber more than you have to, probably. So, boom! Mr. Will is going to start us off.
Week 4 of Convergence. Can you feel the convergence? Real quickly, all these lost worlds, all these lost eras of DC Comics, they're all here. They're all exploding in one big cosmic clash free-for-all by Tellus the supervillain. And here we go. In week 4, we've got Crisis of Infinite Earths. We've got the Charter era, Charlton Charter Club, you know, whatever. They wear the jackets. And you got Warlord, Mike Grell's Warlord in here as well. Lots of big fun as the fight for one universe to rule them all at the end.
Dun dun dun. Dun, dun, dun. And my first Convergence book, A Plastic Man and the Freedom Fighters. Simon Oliver writes, John McCrae does the art, very, very cool. You're seeing Plastic Man, obviously, and Uncle Sam, the Ray, other great heroes fighting for freedom that you saw recently in the Multiversity Man issue, which was really good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
My first for you is Convergence World's Finest, written by Paul Levitz, drawn by Jim Fern, and following the adventures of the Seven Soldiers of Victory as narrated by Golden Age cartoon character Scribbly, who I had never heard of at all until Howard explained him for me. So thanks, Howard.
Howard's got that knowledge.
Convergence Detective Comics. Helena Bertinelli, Helena Wayne, I don't care, I just love my Huntress in her purple outfit with her legs exposed, but she's cool in her crossbow. And she's dealing with Red Sun Superman, the Russian Superman, and there's Batman, there's Robin, there's all kinds of cool stuff. And it's Lin Wein, the legendary Lin Wein writing.
And Dennis Cohen and Bill Sienkiewicz.
Got an old school team rocking
Super
there.
old
Hell
school.
yeah. Speaking of old school, Mr. Dan Jurgens coming back to Booster Gold as he does every couple years. Alvaro Martinez doing the art. And this one is tying in with kind of the end of the Booster Gold series Jeff Johns did a few years ago, introducing his extended family. So yes, more time travel action there.
And jumping over to Earth 3 here for Convergence Crime Syndicate. Not the Crime Syndicate that showed up recently in Trinity War and Forever Evil, but the classic Silver Age one where Owlman actually has an owl on top of his head.
Yes.
Superwoman is on trial, powerless, about to be electrocuted, and the rest of the Crime Syndicate is kind of like, you know, we should just go shoot people now. Very interesting story there. Brian Buccellato and Phil Winslade.
And from Earth 3 to Earth 2, this is the Justice Society of the original Justice Society of America with Hawkman, Alan Scott when he was just Sentinel, and he was still straight. And
he was, wasn't he?
He was. Flash, Dr. Fate, Dan Abnett without his usual partner, and I just forgot his last name, Derenick.
Tom
Derenick. I was going to make you an artist like Sting. But for the JSA, old school JSA fun.
Convergence Action Comics with this awesome cover by Amanda Connor. Justin Gray, also without his usual writing partner. Maybe they didn't take partners in this one. I don't know. Claude St. Arbin does the art. Lovern Kinderzinski does the color. You got some Power Girl action. You got some Stalin action. You got some Russian Superman action. Yes.
There's a lot of Stalin this week.
There's a lot of Stalin this week.
Speaking of Stalin and things you can't stall, Infinity Inc. I don't know, that didn't really work, but in my head it did. This is the Convergence special for the children of the old school Justice Society. Jade, Atom Smasher, well, back when it was Nuklon, he had a mohawk.
Nuklon!
Bunch of other characters. Written by Jerry Ordway, who actually drew that book for a while, and drawn by Ben Caldwell, who is totally awesome. He did the Wonder Woman strip in Wednesday Comics all those years back.
And my final one, Convergence Shazam! Jeff Parker, Eric Shanner, Jordi Belair. This is gorgeous. Very, very great. Very kind of like Golden Age fun art. They also did the recent Flash Gordon series, which has been great. But this issue has what every Shazam comic needs: lots of talkie-talkie. So that is almost Convergence in a nutshell.
Except for the issue about the most important superhero DC has: Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, who refuses to stay down, even though he has a hole in his head and has been dead since like 2008.
Have they really they've really left him dead, haven't
And he was
they?
replaced.
No, like there was some time travel shenanigans there
but
for a
he's
bit.
been pretty dead, yeah.
He's been dead.
Yeah.
This has got him team up with Charlton cohorts, Captain Atom, and The Question, written by Scott Lobdell, and drawn by, I'm pretty sure, a newcomer to DC here. I think her name is Yishan Lee. Really cool art there.
Yeah, very pretty.
That is enough with Convergence. Let's get into the New 52. This is Batman 40. This, you may want to read with someone handy and have some bat therapy, because this is the finale of Endgame. Here's the cool thing. Batman is like rallying all his supervillains in a fight against all the Jokerized zombies, trying to get to the Joker, because the Joker has this weird cure inside his body. The battle goes from the streets of Gotham to the sewer, to way down deep underneath Gotham. It's really weird. It's one of the most super violent battles I've ever witnessed in a comic book.
It's heavy.
Mr. Greg Capullo.
It's heavy.
And Batman Endgame Joker. And this is the big finale. It's going to be gone for a while, and then an all-new Batman emerges in 2 months. And what does that mean? You'll have to read it with a friend.
Dun,
and
dun, dun, and
call
find
me,
out.
and we'll be in a therapy group together, because my mind's blown and my heart hurts a little bit too.
Will's a sensitive soul.
I am.
You know,
Oh,
stuff like that, I just whatever. You know. Anyway, Pisces from Image. Curtis J. Wybe, who has brought you many things, such as Rat Queens and Debris and Peter Panzerfaust, is joined by Johnny Christmas, who just recently finished up Sheltered, for a sci-fi psychological body horror type of book, which, you know, you like
So
Cronenberg.
many of my favorite things.
Absolutely. Really, like, Johnny Christmas really kicked it up a notch here. I don't know, I really like his art, really nice colors as well. And his writing partner, Ed Brisson, is doing the letters. So new from Image.
Right, and old from Marvel here, also ending Fantastic Four, number 645, returned to the original numbering for the end, which is apparently forever. Until, you know, Secret Wars ends and they relaunch the book. But this is James Robinson, Leonard Kirk in the main story, and a whole host of artists for backups here. Double-sized issue, rounding out basically a solid year or two of dismantling the Fantastic Four. But it's a pretty bright ending, honestly. Really neat.
Another big DC cliffhanger, as we are in the Convergence, is Justice League 40. This is the prologue to the long-teased Darkseid War. You've heard about it forever. I mean, ever since Forever Evil, that great cosmetic line that we joke about here, for villains. This is, in a way, it's kind of the big cosmic rematch between Darkseid and the Anti-Monitor, who's referred to by a very interesting name here that makes you kind of go, what's going on with that? But
There's some stuff dropped in this.
there's
issue.
a lot of dropping going on,
Yeah.
and there's Metron, there's another mystery woman we've seen from the beginning. It's all building up. It's, the big Darkseid War. It's the biggest summer event with Justice League. And we also have this in the Magic Mike movie poster edition. If you can imagine Batman saying, I see a lot of lawbreakers I had tonight. Anyway, there you go. Stop me, please.
The Turtles. You know them. You love them. Mateus Santaluco, one of the best artists to draw the Turtles in many years, is back for the ramp up to issue 50. Oh yes, 50 of the Turtles. You may have heard, you know, one of the Turtles might have died or something. You know, somebody like Rich Johnston might have told you on the internet this would be worth money. He lied, but basically, Donatello is already coming back. This is not anything new. We all knew this. But it's very cool how they do it, and this is all about Casey Jones. Oh yeah.
Back over to Marvel on my side here. This is issue 6 of All New Captain America. The end of the first story arc of Rick Remender and Stuart Immonen's awesome take on Sam Wilson as Captain America.
Yeah.
He's dismantled most of Hydra's plans to sterilize all of the world, except for Hydra, of course. Except for Baron Blood, who is about to blow himself up and spread blood all over an entire city, because apparently that's how you sterilize a population. I don't know. Suicide Bomber Vampires is definitely up there in things I want to see in comic books. Personally, especially when it's rendered as well as Stuart Immonen does everything.
Dude, and the color, Marte Gracia, man.
seriously, like, I feel like we don't talk about this all that often,
I
just
know.
because it's one of those things where it's like a sure bet, like, oh,
It's
of course
just-
it's gonna be awesome.
Like, say what you will about Sam Wilson as Cap. I mean, who cares if it's going to last or anything like that? It's awesome. It's really, really good.
If you're letting that stop you
Yeah,
from reading
please.
what is one of the most thrilling superhero books on the stands,
Yeah.
like, you just don't have your priorities straight.
Right.
We're going to go now to a little bit of pop culture. This is Scarlett Couture, straight from London from Titan Comics. It's about, by day, she is the security chief for a international fashion line, and by night she's a super spy. It's very, the art is beautiful, and it's really fun. I came for the art. You'll get hooked on the story. It's a great piece of pop candy. It's kind of like a really kind of over the top, and even James Bond. If some of you remember In Like Flint, that was another 60s Bond-like spy series that was even kind of comical, but it's a great female lead. A lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I think you should check out for just a great escape, Scarlett Couture.
Something different. Look at that. Will is branching out. Is so good. So proud.
She's so pretty, and she's awesome.
And as me, because I read the same crap over and over, Multiversity. This is the end of truly one of the biggest superhero epics that I have ever read. And they tout that all the time, especially with Grant Morrison. But the great thing about Grant Morrison is all his DC stuff builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. So if you were confused by this, I don't blame you. Go back, do a little research, see what Seven Soldiers, maybe some Final Crisis stuff. But this has really, really been amazing. Ultra Comics was something else, and this is just you know, make sure you know maybe that Batman partner that you read and make it an emotional help from, maybe keep him around just to kind of balance out the insanity that is Multiversity. Grant Morrison, Ivan Rice.
And speaking of some more insanity over here, I got another Marvel book for you here. It's almost like I've been drowning in DC Comics, and I just need the entire opposite. But here is Dan Slott, Michael Allred, and Laura Allred's Silver Surfer number 11. This is an extra-sized issue, and there's a bit of a visual trick that they do here. I'd call it a gimmick, but it's honestly just so well done that I'm not going to sell it as that. Not going to give it away. The cover might give you an idea of how it works, but
It's worth your $5.
it's amazing. You're going to want to cut the issue up and, like, yeah, you're going to buy two, basically.
I have a double hit here. This is the grand finale of Jonathan Hickman's truly epic, mind-blowing, so evolved, all the pieces fit Avengers run. It's in 2 final issues, New Avengers 33, which is kind of the Illuminati, the Cabal. And, I mean, this, in the past few issues, has shown why Dr. Doom is the coolest, badass. Even if he's destroying you, you're going to be like, thank you, Dr. Doom, because you were so cool when you did it, and it was so awesome the way you did it. And then Avengers 44, this is it. This is the final showdown. These are the final 2 issues, the final incursion. They've been trying to save the Earth from all these rival Earths incursion, and we now know who caused it, who started it, and it's all going to lead up to Secret Wars next month. But, you know, whether you're Eventitis out, you cannot deny Jonathan Hickman's incredible run. He's brought in some incredible new members to the team. I mean, New Avengers has been like Game of Thrones with superheroes. I can't. It's double issue. I'm speechless. Please start. Somebody else talk while I get a hold of myself. Thank you, Jonathan Hickman.
My last pick here is something a bit quieter. This is from Drawn Quarterly, Jillian Tamaki's Super Mutant Magic Academy. She recently put out This One Summer, got a lot of acclaim. That was with her cousin, I believe. I
thought you did that by yourself.
No, it was 2 of them.
Was it?
It was totally 2 of them. This is a collection of her webcomic, actually, following the lives in high school of a bunch of magical super mutant children.
Awesome.
It's honestly, I went into it like, okay, here's some really fun like strips, cool, and I ended up being kind of moved by it. Like, it's the kind of thing where if I had read it in high school, I would have been completely changed. Like, it pokes fun at being a teenager and the high school experience and everything, but it doesn't ever look down on it.
That's tough.
It's
to do.
really nice.
That's tough.
It's really very, very, very nice.
I like the quote on the back too.
Yeah, it's true. They just want to be friends.
Yeah, right.
Someone want to be. And a final book for the week, Star Wars I love the Marvel Star Wars books. It's like I walked out of A New Hope and started running in there. This is an awesome miniseries starring Princess Leia. She is a badass. She is not a damsel in distress. She is awesome. She's cool. She and an Alderaanian. Anyway, they're from the same planet. They got blown up. Another pilot. They've teamed up. They're on their own mission trying to save other refugees before the Empire gets them. And she's out to catch a spy and save the Rebel Alliance. She's awesome. Mark Waid, Terry Dodson, Princess Leia. And a final note, this weekend, not only is it Avengers Age of Ultron weekend, you might have heard about that movie, but it is Free Comic Book Day. Free Comic Book Day. So think of comic book publishers as Santa Claus and all these great comic book store like this as your elf, if you will. So it's another geek Christmas, if you will. Come on into Xanadu on Saturday. 2 free comics.
Per person. Yep.
Per visit. And of course, there's lots of cool stuff you want to buy while you're here. So Free Comic Book this weekend.
We'll be open 10 to 6. And bring the family. It's a whole thing.
There's literally something from everybody.
For everybody.
From Goldilocks to Fight Club. How about that and superheroes in between? How about that?
It's like somebody did their homework or something.
Exactly.
All right. Hope to see you all this weekend then for Free Comic Book Day, and enjoy your new comic book day.